My channel. I am finally sat on my sofa, not on the floor, because I finally have a tripod. Woo woo woo! So I can now sit in comfort while I do these videos with you. I talk to you guys about more of my health and fitness tips, I guess. So today's video is a big one. It's one that I was a little bit nervous about doing, but I thought, based on my experiences of being a coach for the past almost 5 years, it will be 5 years and 16 days, check me out, I thought I've learned a lot. I've encountered different scenarios with working with so many different people that I thought, okay, this is something I can talk about with everyone else out there, tell you guys my experience, what I think, and share all the knowledge I have to then maybe help you guys develop. My goal is to help you guys develop in your health and fitness journeys, not take you back. So that's the reason I want to do these tips for you. So today's, as you can see from the title, why do I want to ditch the scales? Ooh. Where do I begin with this one, basically? I do have my notes with me, so if I do look to the side, I'm just reading over them just to make sure I've got them right in my head, because when I write things out, brilliant. When I try to say them, not so brilliant. Me and words, we don't get on. So most of what I'm telling you is from what I've experienced working primarily with women. Now, that isn't to say that what I'm about to say doesn't apply to men and all genders at all. Like, this can be for anyone. But I'm just obviously going to go from what I've experienced and who I work with and things like that. So I'm going to go straight into it. And one of the big reasons I want to ditch the scales is because that little number, or whatever number on the scale, takes over everyone's journey, health and fitness journey. That little thing on that scale really has such a huge impact, and most of the time, from what I've experienced, a huge negative impact, okay? So, just a general story, what I see. I work with women on a daily basis. Obviously, at the moment, we're doing this through the interwebs, but when we're allowed in person, I work with a lot of women, and what I see is women coming through the door, working their socks off, doing amazing things on the machines that we have. I then hear how well they feel, that they're able to get up in the morning with a bit more ease, they can walk a bit longer without aches and pains, whatever. I hear all this good stuff, it's going great, they're eating well, it's all good, and then a month, 2 months later, they get on that scale and they see that the number, maybe it's changed only a little bit, maybe it hasn't changed at all, maybe it's gone up a little bit, and then everything, boom, crashes. Everything goes just down. All that positive progress they've been making and they've been telling me for the last month, 2 months, whatever, all the good feelings they've been having, as soon as they see that number, gone. Because that doesn't matter in that moment. It's the number on the scale. And I understand why, like, it is, if that is your goal, if weight loss is your goal, it can be huge if you don't see that number change. But why should that number just completely throw out all that positive progress that you've been making and you've been feeling and you've experienced and you feel great, get thrown out the window just because of a number? It shouldn't be that way. Weight loss is a funny thing, it really is, and especially with health and fitness, because there are various things that can affect it. Even when you're really well and you've been losing weight and you're losing, you might suddenly start putting it on, but that doesn't mean necessarily you're putting fat on. It could be that you are now really growing your muscle mass. So as that grows, you're gonna get heavier because muscle mass gets heavy when you grow and it produces and gets bigger. Naturally, it's gonna weigh something. So, I don't know if I'm gonna make this, if this is making any coherent sense, but what I'm trying to say is the number on the scale shouldn't disregard all that positive change you've been making. You should really take a moment. Okay, you might in that moment just go, oh, but then you need to step back and go, no, I've made a load of progress. I have felt like better than I have felt in a long time because I've been doing my intentional and purposeful exercise, and I will do another video on that, on what I mean intentional and purposeful exercise, because activity and exercise can be two different things, so I will do another video on that. But you should reflect and go, right, I feel great, I can run up the stairs without getting out of breath, I can go all the way to the shops, do my shopping, walk back and still have enough energy to then clean the house. I have noticed my clothes are actually just fitting a lot better, and I know that I've been fueling my body well because internally I feel great. I feel I can wake up, I'm getting a good amount of sleep. You need to start thinking about all those positive changes and just try not to think about the scale. The scale really does hurt so many people in their health and fitness journey, and I see it so many times, and when I see that disappointment on their faces and then instantly they start trying to change their goals and make plans that's actually going to derail and have a negative impact on all the positive goals that they have been working on, it hurts actually. It hurts me to see them in that stage. I don't want people to be feeling like that. I want everyone to realise just how much progress they've made and realise that, okay, the scale isn't you. It doesn't define you. The scale does not define you. This is the message, people. It does not define you. And it's terrible. It really is. And it's something that, as I say, where I work, we are really trying to get our ladies to understand that it's not the thing. It's not the main thing to be focused on. You need to focus on how you're feeling and just focus on you and how you're just how you feel. Ditch those scales. I can't say it enough. And if we're talking about the scale not defining you, it really doesn't, because the scale at times, as I have mentioned briefly at the start of my rant, does not represent health and fitness well at all. Because, and I use this example a lot, it's same with BMI. Awful, and that is a topic that me and my friend are going to talk about in a podcast, so do make sure you sign up, download, listen to those podcasts. I will have it linked below as always. BMI and the scale does not represent what is internal at times, honestly. A bodybuilder could, providing that they do it the good way, not taking anything that they shouldn't, but someone that is training really hard, eating really well, getting enough sleep, drinking plenty of water, might jump on a scale, and based on the number on that scale and the BMI that we have, might come out as being, well, they're an obese person. But if we were to look at that person, we'd be like, they're not obese, they're trim, they're well toned, they're muscular, they're really healthy, how can they be obese? This is the problem. This is the problem with the scale and BMI. And BMI, as I say, is a whole other topic. And I'm going to just cover that in the podcast, I think, because I might just lose my mind. So I need my friend there just to keep me on track, I think. So this is what I'm trying to say. It's not a good representation of your health and fitness. And yes, it's a good thing to keep an eye on if you really want to, but don't let it bring you down. If you want to do some kind of measurements, I would say go for physical measurements, measure certain parts of your body. So where I work, what we do is we measure the fullest part of your dominant arm. So you really flex that muscle, get it there. We go around the bust, we go waist, abdomen, hips, and the thigh. You can obviously measure around your calves if you want to. There's other places as well. And try and do a body fat check if you can. And just make sure that's okay. And you're just trying to make sure that you're just getting it to a good range for your age. Everyone's different, so you have to check on that, try and find someone that knows, and use that as a form of measurement, honestly. Or even don't do that. If you just want to go by your fitness level, so maybe you are, like I say, running up the stairs, you get completely out of breath. Use that as your first measure of fitness. If you can suddenly go up and you get to the top, you're like, wait, I can breathe, I feel great, fantastic. Brilliant, that shows progress. And this is what I want us all to focus on a little bit more. And again, I'm not saying just don't ever have a weigh on the scale. That is fine, that is your choice, but just don't let it bring you down and don't let it unravel all the positive progress and changes you have been making, because it's not worth it. Because what is worth it is celebrating those changes you have been making and how you've been feeling. And with that, if you've got more energy, great. Better mobility, amazing. Feel comfortable in your own skin, fantastic. This is what we need to be focusing on for everyone. And I think again, it's based on what my own experience, women do tend to have this whole reliance on the scales more so. I haven't encountered many men that struggle as much with their weight. Maybe I've just not met the guys that do. So as I say, I'm not disregarding that anyone else can be feeling obviously reliant on the scale, because it happens all over the spectrum. So but again, just from my experience, I've just seen it too many times in women, and it's just really disheartening. It really is so sad to see, because I see the changes in these ladies that I work with. They see it, and then as soon as they see that scale, it just goes out the window. And yeah, it's really sad, because oftentimes it then has a negative impact, and then they do start putting a lot more weight on and gaining all the inches and eating the wrong things, because it's like emotional eating, I guess. When we feel distressed, when we feel sad, unfortunately sometimes our go-to response is eating, which again could be another topic of discussion. So it's something we need to try and combat and realise the positive changes we're making, for sure, because it's well worth it. You've done amazing, and why should a number wreck it? Basically, why should that happen? It shouldn't. So that is a reason why I want to ditch the scales. And I realise now that I'm talking, I think I was shouting halfway through that video. This is how riled up I am. I don't know what it is, but a lot of this stuff I've always known, but this past, I think because of the pandemic and having to really work with the ladies that I work with from a distance, online, like I say, it's not as easy, and you just realise how much you need to try and express the importance of the positive changes and things like that, and it's making me want to talk about it more, which I feel good about doing that, actually. I think we need a lot more of it, and I know, again, a lot of other coaches on YouTube especially, I've been seeing it a lot, have been preaching about just going by how you feel, and why should a number dictate who you are? Why should you feel completely guilty and awful if you had a chocolate bar? I mean, it shouldn't be that way, and as long as you know you're eating nutritionally, if you want a chocolate bar, have that chocolate bar, that's fine. Like, honestly. But again, that's another topic in itself. So, okay guys, I think I need to go and have a cup of tea because I really am riled, and I didn't think I would get this riled up when I was writing out my notes. I honestly thought, oh, that'll be okay, I can explain that, I'll get through that okay. There's a fire burning inside, there's a fire. But yes, this is the message from this video. Don't rely on those scales. If you are feeling great, you've got more mobility, energy is better, you're getting comfortable in your skin, stick with that, focus on that, go with it. You are amazing, you are working hard, you are doing well, I've got a runny nose, this is a really random pep talk at the end. Just do you, okay? So until the next video, where hopefully I won't be as riled up, I'll see you then. Bye guys!